welcome to the 108th episode of Retrotopia. My name is Brian, and this week we're hitting the slopes and we're going to play the game called Cool Borders. And let me just say this is going to be an episode for the books. Now, if you're just here for the game chat, just head down about 15-20 minutes, but we hope you stay for the intro because we like to have a lot of fun with this one. And I actually got more responses for the choose one, lose one than I thought I was going to because, it's Cool Borders. What do you pick? But you guys came through. And, before we begin, though, let's start with the plugs. So if you could rate us 5 stars wherever you get your podcast, it helps us grow, and we're super appreciative. Also, if you want to follow us on social media, you can do so at linktree/Retrotopia. It's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. Inside of that, there's a link to all of our social media. That includes our Discord, which has a great community growing. A lot of great people in there. And every so often we get somebody new, and the community just gets better every time we get somebody new into that Discord. Also, we have a merch store at retrotopia.dashery.com. There's going to be a link in the description of the podcast. We have a few designs in there, stuff we work together, and I'm proud that we brought out to you guys. We also have our Patreon, and you can join it for free. That's where you get to take part in the polls, you get to chat with the host, you get to write about the game of the week, you get to write into the host of the 9-Bit Banter Box, you get a quick play, which is a short review series that one of us does for a game that we don't think is worthy of a full episode. And you also get Retro Bites 15 days early with an extra topic, and it now features more Joe Fettuccini. Also, we have the Hero tier, and for $2 US, you can get everything from the free tier. Plus, you can select a game for a host to review on Quick Play. You get the other show, New Game Plus, where we kind of pick newer games or just topics that we don't feel fit into anywhere else, and then we make a show out of it. And also, you can get a shout-out. Now, with that out of the way, it's time that we give you, the audience, a chance to write into the host on what we call the 9-Bit Banter Box, which is culturally elegant. First up, we have Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And I spelt it right this time when I put it in my notes. He says, how are your snowboarding skills? Well, Mr. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, not good. I have tried snowboarding. I've tried snowboarding exactly once. I mean, there's time. I lived by a ski hill when I was a kid, and, we would take those toy snowboards at the time. We'd go down, like, the bunny hill and just try it out, but nothing anybody would call real snowboarding. When I was a bit older, I was in the military. We got a chance to go to a hill in Quebec, and I decided I was going to rent a snowboard and give it a shot. So, I got all the gear on. I had the pants, the jacket, the helmet, and all that good stuff, and I put the snowboard on, and I could not make it off the bunny hill. Biggest problem, I was too chicken shit to get the speed required to snowboard. So when you see a snowboarder going down the hill like he has a death wish, it's because if you go slow on those things, they are stupidly unstable. Only thing I got out of that was a bruised tailbone when I landed on my ass, so I probably will never go snowboarding again. I'm a two-stick skier, I like my feet to be independent on a downhill slope. So, yeah, I have tried snowboarding, and I have no skills. Next up, we have Fill Up My Mouth with Farts. He says, hi, Brian, are you a one-and-done gamer? Play through the game and story once and move on? What does it take for a game to make you want to play through it multiple times? And what does it take for a game to make you want to go for the Platinum Trophy, all achievements completed? I'll answer the last part first. I'm not a trophy hunter, but Ghost of Yotai is making me want to continue to play it to the point where I might actually hunt down my first real platinum. I have one platinum trophy that's on Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and that one basically hands it to you when you finish the game, so I might try for Yotai. I did for Ghost of Tsushima. I tried to get the achievements, but I just kind of waned away because I finished the game and there wasn't really much left to do except for trophy hunt, and I don't know, it gets kind of boring, especially when the trophy's like headshot 15 people. It's like, I just don't want to. It's tedious. So yeah, I might, we'll see, but yeah, most part I'm not a big trophy hunter. As for the first part of your question, what does it take to get me to play a game multiple times? Well, I play lots of games multiple times. Like, we got the classics, you get your Final Fantasies, Chrono Trigger, Super Mario's, games like that from the Super Nintendo era. I love those games, and they don't get old ever. So I've played them multiple times, and when I feel like just picking up something and playing, that's usually what I go to. Short games definitely are worth playing again. BioShocks I've played a few times. Like, we just reviewed BioShock Infinite, and I think I've played that 4 or 5 times. I love it. I'll play it. There's also, games like Ghost of Tsushima, modern games. I've played Ghost of Tsushima 3 times, Grand Theft Auto a couple of times, Far Cry 3 bunch of times, but Far Cry 5 I really got into, and I actually played that game 3 times back to back to back. I finished it and restarted it the next day, and then finished it, then restarted it, and then finished it again. That is the first game I've ever played back to back to back. Like, normally once I'm done the story, I need time to let it marinate, and that game, I don't know, I'd already beaten the game by that point. Like, this wasn't my first, second, or third playthrough. This is like 4, 5, and 6. And it's just, I love the game that much. And plus, there's a new game plus. If there's a new game plus, there's more likelihood that I'll go back and play it again, because I always love starting the game like overpowered. Because if I'm playing it again, I'm playing it for the story. No game has really had the mechanics to make me say it's worthy to play with just the mechanics alone. It has to have a good story. Yeah, good story plus good mechanics, so will also make me more likely to play the game again. If the game has shit mechanics, I probably won't. Then there's some games I should have loved, like Spider-Man on the PS4, that I never finished, but I absorbed Miles Morales. Like, it's just weird. I guess it also has something to do with the mood I'm in. So yeah, it doesn't take much to get me to play games again, especially, when your income's a little bit lower than you want it to be. You tend to force yourself back into the multitude of games you've already played, because you had a good time, and you can shut your brain down because you're not going to be looking for those surprises. All right, thanks for the question. Next up, we have Hoolikin. Brian, what's your favorite Italian food, and why is it definitely not fettuccine? All right, I'm going to start off. If you don't know, because you're just a casual listener of this and not part of the Discord, Joe, the co-host of Retro Bites, I nicknamed him Joe Fettuccini because he mentioned he was Italian. So, and of course, that takes off, and we all call him Joe Fettuccini now in a good, fun-natured way. It's not meant to be mean-spirited. It's just meant to be like a fun little thing. I'm gonna put this to bed. I don't actually have a problem with Joe. We just have like a little back and forth banter that we do, I guess, more publicly than we do in private. All our background conversations are pretty cordial. We'll poke fun at each other once in a while, but nothing like, we're not doing it to be hurtful. So, having said that, I actually love a good chicken fettuccine Alfredo. If I go to an Italian restaurant, that's high up on my list of what I'm going to order, because that creamy fettuccine Alfredo sauce, like the Alfredo mostly, not the fettuccine, but yeah, a good Alfredo sauce is just to die for. But if I'm going to pick a favorite Italian food, it's going to be spaghetti, but it's going to be homemade spaghetti, because I call it garbage sauce, because normally when we make spaghetti, it's around the end of the month when the vegetables are like starting to show their age, and you just kind of got to get rid of it. So you just throw everything in the pot, and that's the beauty of spaghetti sauce. You can throw so much into it, and it doesn't wreck the sauce. And if you take the time to actually make it with like real tomatoes as opposed to canned tomato sauce, it just elevates it that much higher. Like, I sit there and I pretend I'm in MasterChef there, and Gordon Ramsay's yelling at me, but reality is just my wife yelling at me because, I don't know, I wasn't listening. But yeah, that's my favorite sauce. And to this day, I will never get the distinction between spaghetti sauce and red sauce. I understand red sauce is any sauce that's red, but yeah, you Italians are weird. I'm not going to get into that debate again. Let's just say you can have your red sauce. I'm taking my spaghetti sauce. Also, and I'm going to say this blanket to everyone, homemade is way better versus restaurant sauce. I don't care if the restaurant's like a 5 Michelin star restaurant. Homemade sauce hits better. All right, thanks, Hooli. Up next, we have The Big Deal. It says, what media or TV or movie best depicts what Canadians are actually like? If you're familiar at all with Kroll Show, I am, my headcanon is perfectly aligned with Wheels of Ontario and pop singer Brian Lacroix. Ottawa Na, Go to Bed, I believe is a song he wrote here. After all, they perfectly nailed what people from Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are like with the Pennsylvania. Okay, I've never heard of Brian Lacroix, honestly. I should have looked this up, but I'm writing it down, and I'll probably look it up after I'm done recording. But for media, TV, or movies that best depict Canadians are actually like, first off, I gotta say we have a wonderful, wonderful film industry here in Canada, and especially if you enjoy French. Like, Quebec has a pretty big film industry inside of it because, I mean, they're the only French area inside of this, like, north of Mexico, so they kind of have to do their own thing, and they do it well, and some great movies have come out of it if you like subtitles or you can understand French enough. But as for Canada itself, we're a pretty big country, so we actually have, like, a lot of cultures. Like, America does, too. You know, you can tell where somebody is by their accent. It's same in Canada. What a lot of people mistake for the Canadian accent tends to come out of Newfoundland, or the Newfies. They're the ones that I believe a lot of Americans have heard and think that's what all Canadians sound like. But you got the Newfies. They're a culture within themselves. The East Coasters, everybody in the Halifax, the Nova Scotia, New Brunswick area, East Coasters are a special breed as well. They also have their, like, just a wickedly different culture. Of course, you have Quebec. Quebec is a culture within itself. It's an entire province of French people inside of Canada, and they just built their culture around it, and they do it well. And then you have Ontarians, which I fall under. Well, depending where in Ontario, Ontario's fairly big, but if you go around Toronto, it's just basically, you might as well call us Americans, because, let's be honest, Toronto is just basically Americans who tripped over Lake Ontario. Then you got, out west, you got the Burtons, the Albertans. That's where people like Adam Blank come from Remember the Game podcast. They're oil-hungry, Texas North-style folks, and yeah, they're a different breed as well. So that's a different culture. They want to be country, but, you know, they do so by not really progressing into the modern age. Take that, Burtons. And then we got the hippies out west, and that's where BC Bud comes in. That's where Hydropod and all that kind of stuff. Like, the amount of people that smoked weed when I was a kid said they got it from BC, or they came from BC, or they started in BC was insane. Then we have, of course, our Indigenous population, which is spread out throughout Canada. They have a rich history if you ever look into it or see any of the movies that are genuinely really explaining about their trials and tribulations throughout history. They got some good stuff going on. And then, of course, we have a large immigrant population, as we do in North America, so there's also that. Now, to actually answer your question, as I've rambled on for a bit, Letterkenny shows a good side of Canadiana, and it's friggin' hilarious, and also has a spin-off called Shoresy, which is hockey-centric. So Letterkenny is a good show to watch, and I believe it actually made it to the States on Hulu. Also, Trailer Park Boys is Canadian, except for, you know, Bubbles is a now accused pervert, and it's coming out that he's always been kind of that way, so I don't know how people are going to take that one, but you know what? Trailer Park Boys has always been well received. There's also movies like Leslie Nielsen was a Canadian. He was in a movie called Men with Brooms, so it's like a fun little curling movie. John Candy, also a notable Canadian, did a movie called Canadian Bacon back in the day, which makes jokes about all the stereotypes of Canada, and it's really, really funny. Like, if you have a chance to watch one movie about an American coming to Canada, do Canadian Bacon, because it's just, it's so good. Also, there's, you know, movies popular here, I guess. I don't know if they'll ever, like, cross the border, but there's one called Bon Cop, Bad Cop, which is French, good cop, bad cop, translated fully to English. It's just a movie about interprovincial police working together to solve a crime. So you got a cop from Ontario and a cop from Quebec. And of course, the Ontario cop is, you know, suit and tie, and the Quebec cop is he doesn't play by the rules. And it's a good movie. It's one of the things I like when they do in Canada is when you have a French person and an English person interacting, you don't have to have them speak the same language. One can speak English, the other can speak French, and they understand each other. And it's kind of like, what the utopia of Canada would be like if we just got our shit together. But yeah, there's also a lot of French movies, as I mentioned, if you really want to get cultured. So yeah, I recommend checking out Letterkenny as a TV show and Canadian Bacon as a movie. That was a long answer to get to, or that was a long walk to get to that answer. And with that, we're going to move on to Blue Yoshi 94. They say, Brian, which Action 52 game looks the worst and why? Both NES and Genesis, please. I have not heard the term Action 52 in a while. Normally, what would happen is, I think it was my dad. This one's a kind of a sketchy memory because I can't remember it completely, but back in the day, there was always the underground NES cartridge market where somebody would put a whole bunch of games, like you get the 101 packs and stuff like that. Action 52 was a 52-in-1 game cartridge, and I didn't know it was on the Genesis. I knew it was on the NES. I don't know where they came from. Like, they just appeared. Like, it was a great time. There was no security cameras, and video game bootlegs just appeared from wherever the hell they came from, the magical land of bootleg. But it would always involve smaller games for the system. Like, I looked up the list on the Action 52. I was going to answer Lunar Pool, because that was a game I used to get just absolutely addicted to, but it's not on the Action 52. But I did find a game on both the Genesis and the NES, and I'm going to call out as being the worst. It's Alfredo and the Fettuccinis. And the description on the wiki is, the pasta has gotten out of control and you've got to race the clock and get the spaghetti, linguine, and other pasta back into the pot where it belongs. Everything about this game just looks absolutely terrible, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. I've written it down. I'm going to look it up, see if I have the ROM of it. If I don't have the ROM of it, I'm going to find the ROM. I got to play this game. It just looks awful, and if it's good, I'll report back. If you don't hear from me, well, then it's garbage, like I said. Thanks very much, Blue Yoshi, and we got next up Shark Bite, who says, not sure if this has been asked before, but can you speak any other languages? Oui. I learned French when I was in the military, and I got up to, I guess the level, best way to describe the level is I am competent enough to hold a conversation, but it's not a good conversation. Biggest problem is I freeze up when I speak French to a French person, and all of a sudden I forget everything. Me and my brother went to Quebec City for a family reunion, and we both tried to speak French, and I'd say we're both competently roughly around the same level, and both of us just stumbled over our feet. It's kind of telling. So yeah, our dad is a francophone. We should know French way better than we do, and it's just, I don't know. We lived in English Canada our childhood, so French wasn't really predominant in our household, and just, yeah, never learned it till I was in the military. And I will say one thing, whenever French people try to speak English wherever I was, I'm not going to speak to everybody's experience, we would always stop them, like, no, you say this instead, because it would help them learn and grow. My first roommate in the military was completely French, and within 2 years, he was 100% bilingual, making jokes that you'd expect an experienced English speaker to make, and he was doing it seamlessly. Like, the guy was amazing. I tried to speak French in Quebec, and I basically, either people would switch to English for me because they understood that I couldn't speak French very well, and they thought I was insulting them, or they would just laugh at me, and that kind of ruins your confidence. So yeah, if I learn another language, it's going to be Japanese to watch anime without subtitles, but that's way down the future. That and Portuguese, but Portuguese is for a personal reason. Thanks, Sharkbite. Next up, we got Super Dave, who says, what popular trend or objects from the 80s, 90s gets the biggest eye roll from your kid? I use catchphrases from the 90s to annoy my kid, and he watches enough YouTube, and he seems to catch enough of these that he knows that I'm using catchphrases from my childhood. And some of them cross over to nowadays. Like, one of the fun things, like, I looked up a list of Gen Z catchphrases, like Skibbity, Ohio, Riz, whatever. And me and my wife would just, every so often, just walk up to him and be like, that's not very Skibbity of you. And he got to the point he actually punched us. Like, not physically trying to hurt us, but, just like a shot to the arm. You're like, shut up. So yeah, we do that just to kind of ruin it. Because as parents, if we use their slang, it ruins it for them and they have to come up with new slang. And if we do this enough, maybe they'll come up with slang that comes right from a dictionary as opposed to a YouTube video. Thanks, Super Dave. We got up the penultimate question from Brother Retro, which oddly enough is not a question, but he says, "Hey, B-Rye." He actually spelled that out. "I can't think of a good question today, so I'll just take this time to say nice, heartfelt thank you. So thank you for all the hard work. Us Retrotopians are eating pretty good these days." Well, we appreciate that, Brother Retro. And, God, every time I see Brother Retro, I get Hulk Hogan and be like, "Brother Retro, brother." I can't do it. But anyways, thank you very much. We always appreciate when somebody says nice stuff. I'll pass it on to the boys at the next board meeting, and yeah, keep listening. We keep trying to do what we can to make this entertaining, and we hope you are entertained. Are you not entertained? Probably not. All right, finally, we got Oven Dolly, who says, "Brian, sorry about those Blue Jays. On to the Leafs. How are you holding up?" First off, I'm a fair weather baseball fan. I watch it in passing, and of course, when the Blue Jays make a run, I get into it. I was at the bar, and I was enjoying it, being around people who are cheering for the same team. Like, I live in Ottawa, and I'm a Leafs fan, but, you don't get a lot of people cheering for the Leafs when I'm sitting at a bar. So having a bunch of people around, it creates an exciting atmosphere. So yeah, I really got into it, and it was a good run. I mean, I wish Toronto won the World Series? Yeah, but I can't take away from LA. They have more money. So, yeah, that's about it. The season will start again. There'll be another, run in 20, 30 years, and eventually a Canadian team's going to win a championship again. As for the Leafs, they're sucking ass this year. I looked up the standings, and the Leafs usually around this point of the year are sitting third or fourth, maybe even second on a good year, but they're bottoming their friggin' division. And I can say I'm disappointed, but I also can say I'm not surprised. Again, I'm not an Uber fan, and I hate people who are Uber fans. Well, I don't hate them. I dislike them. When I say hate, I mean I strongly dislike. But sometimes I'll be out and about, and people are bar side managing the team, making sweetheart deals for trades to make their team better while making the rest of the league worse. And it just, enjoy the game. These people are entertaining you, and if your entertainment is you getting angry because they're not winning all the time, maybe that's a reflection on yourself. Just breathe it in and just enjoy the product. All right, that is all the questions. Thank you, everybody, for the questions. And I know I kind of rambled on this one, and I apologize for that, but I love answering the questions, and I love when you guys write in. But now it's time to kind of flip the switch, because for all good things, there has to be a bad things, and that leads us into choose one, lose one.
Ladies and gentlemen, roll up and choose your power-up from the game of the week. You pick a power, we pick a consequence. It's choose one, lose one, the game where everyone's a loser.
Choose one, lose one, the monkey paw of Retrotopia. And the first up, we have Fill Up My Mouth with Farts. It says, as someone who absolutely destroyed his left wrist snowboarding, I want to be able to competently snowboard again, doing the tricks and turns and everything that is cool on a snowboard without hurting myself again. Granted, and you move to a place with futuristic technology that fixes your wrist and gives you the confidence to snowboard again. However, this place is a location with a lot of snow but no hills, and you can't afford to leave for any reason. So, enjoy snowboarding on flat land. Next up, we got Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Almost stumbled on that one this time. I would like the ability to go downhill with a speed over 130 kilometers an hour. I would use this ability to win a cold medal in the Winter Olympics. Not gold, cold. So, first off, congratulations. You got, tin, but it's cold. They put it around your neck, and it remains cold. A cold tin medal. But that's not your ability. I'm going to grant you the ability to win the Winter Olympics properly. but you'll now forever immediately hit 130 kilometers an hour or 81 miles per hour whenever there is a slight downward angle of any degree. And you can't be stopped until the ground either levels out or angles back up, to which case you come to a gentle, safe stop. So yeah, going downstairs, gone. I guess stairs technically are straight. Well, we got to measure them. You'll have to measure everything from now on. If it's 0.1 degree downward, poof, you're gone. Next up, we have Wildcard says, I want the ability to snowboard so I can become the most radical host of Retro Bites. All right, granted, you can snowboard, but you develop a fear of heights and cannot bring yourself to go down the mountain. And you are the most radical host of Retro Bites, so you can keep that one. Next up, we got Hooli King, who says, I want to be cool. Granted. You go to the store and you buy a fan. It cools you down, so now you're cool. Sorry, you're overheated. Open a window. Next up, we got Radmac. I choose a sex life that's a lot less of a letdown than this game is. Granted, your sex life is better than Cool Borders, but now is on par with Cool Borders too, so not much better. Next up, we got Sharkbite, who says, I would like the ability to endure cold and enjoy being in it. Granted, you get to move to Canada. Brother Retro says, I choose the ability to turn this game into Cool Tubers, because that's all I can do on a mountain of snow. Granted, the game is now Cool Tubers. Nothing changes in the game except for the name of the equipment used to go downhill. It still sucks. Spoiler. And finally, we got Blue Yoshi says, give me a cool board so I can do some flips. Granted, you get a very cool board, but people are so busy admiring this cool board, you never get any space to do your flips, so you're kind of grounded. So that's everybody. That is everything for Choose One, Lose One. Thanks for actually making this a worthwhile experience, because I thought there would be absolutely nothing that came out of this game for Choose One, Lose One, but you guys made it work. You always do. You're always great. Now, speaking of greatness, I had to motivate Alan to do this gentleman's interlude, so I did my best, and he gave me his response, so here we go. The gentleman's interlude.
No. Just no.
Thank you, Ellen, as always, for that gentleman's interlude. You put a lot of work into that, and it shows. All right, now we're going to get into your comments before we get into talking about the game, and we got a couple here, and starting with Fallen Snow Kiku, says, I actually completely forgot about this game until this post, and now the memories come flooding back. We're sorry for that. I never personally owned it, but I had a demo disc on PS1 containing one of the sequels. I remember playing that one level for hours. I'd love to try it. I'm downloading it on PS Plus now. Uh-oh. We are not responsible for what comes of you downloading Cool Borders 1 from PS Plus. Fill up my mouth with fart says, I am writing this as someone who absolutely played the heck out of Cool Borders 3 and 4. Consequently, they should have been picked for this one. I absolutely love those snowboarding games. They almost felt like you were actually snowboarding, doing realistic tricks while adding a little unrealistic outcomes, rather than the SSX tricky games, which I think took the showmanship a little too far. You know what? I don't know if I'll ever get to 3 and 4, but they only could go uphill from here, because this game barely can go downhill. So I bet you have better memories of 3 and 4 than we do of this game. Next up, we got Unbuckled Cape from the Unbuckled Cape Comics, who says, I never got the appeal of snowboarding or skateboarding games. Yes, even the Tony Hawk's. I'd honestly rather play a game about a banana. That sounds way more appealing. Yeah. But seriously, I don't get games like this. Everybody likes what they like. You know, I do enjoy the Tony Hawk's, but if it's not your jam, it's not your jam. Completely understandable. And finally, we have Brother Retro says, I was more of a 1080 and an SSX type guy. This game had its moments. I don't hate it, but definitely doesn't deserve a jammy dodger from the jar. Well said, and with that, we are going to transition into the probably only decent thing about this game is the music. So thank you, everyone who wrote in. It's always great to hear your thoughts. So with this music that you now hear, we're going to be talking about Cool Borders, developed by UEP Systems, published by Sony Computer Entertainment, released in Japan in August of 1996, and then worldwide in January 97 for the PlayStation console. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show. Well, we've been avoiding it for as long as we can. We got extended our After Dark. We talked a little extra before we even started recording, but here we are talking about Cool Borders. And on this, the first official day of snow here up in Canada for the winter season. And joining me is my gnarly dude, Alan, and the master shredder himself, Sam. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Feeling pretty gnarly. Gnarly dude. I like that.
Yeah.
Gotta shred the gnar, brah.
I got some fresh powder this morning also.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do
And there's not even a ski hill near you.
Do either of you guys have you ever snowboarded? I've never snowboarded. How about you?
I have, yeah.
Have you?
I'm not going to recount that story because that was actually one of the questions in the intro. But yes, I have. I'll tell you offline.
I don't think I have really, not officially. I had a cheap ass Walmart version of a snowboard that you just step into and can slide down on a sledding hill, but not a real. No, I have not.
There you go. So, 3 guys completely inexperienced with the sport in question.
I wouldn't say inexperienced. I've watched it in the Olympics.
Absolutely, but
That's
you
true.
know what? I think the people who made this game were pretty inexperienced with the sport in question as well. So
what are you talking about? I'm going to read the back of the case right now because I have it sitting in front of me, and I've just been kind of laughing to myself. This is literally on the back of the case. Unbelievable next generation graphics and awesome control deliver the ultimate snowboarding experience. 5 daring downhill courses. Choose from 10 hardcore snowboards. Awesome characters. Catch air and pull off maneuvers. Innovative ghost data. 8 ripping CD soundtracks.
well,
Yeah.
do you know
that is the six nicest things I'm going to say about this game. Just
you
so you know.
reading off the
probably
back.
should have done. You probably should have done the gentleman's interlude this week because.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's like fresh powder on a sunny day. Doesn't get any better than this. Quote
No.
from Game Informer magazine on the back of the cover.
Everyone's a fucking liar. Jesus.
Oh God, I don't even know where to start. I think this is the first time all 3 of us have played this. Correct me if I'm wrong. So there's no history for us in this game. I was probably thinking of another game, and I believe it's 1080 Snowboarding I was thinking of when I kind of suggested this game originally, but I thought this game was going to be more trick heavy, but it really, 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 really isn't.
No, absolutely not. And you know what? We would have been better off playing 1080 Snowboarding because my history with this game is that I missed the man that I was before I played this game, and that was approximately 3 days ago, and I played it for half an hour. So I don't know that I'm overly qualified to speak on this game, but I've got plenty of fucking anger to get out of my system. I played through all 3 available levels and decided, you know what, that's enough for me. 1080 Snowboarding is definitely the better game out of the 2 of these because, oh boy, I'd heard of Cool Borders and now I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know how to describe just how awful my time was with this game. I'm sitting here kind of trying to look up the game manual, and I can't even find the proper game manual for this. I find one for Cool Borders 2001, but this was what, 1997?
I think so.
6, I believe,
who even
right?
fucking cares? Who cares?
Yeah, 97 or 96. It doesn't really matter, but let's just go with it. I'm pretty sure this game manual will probably be the same thing. Let's start with it.
I actually do have the
Go
game
ahead.
manual upstairs, and perhaps the only good thing about the game manual, because I was just like, this cannot be all that this game is, and we'll get into what I mean by that shortly. But I was just like, there has to be more to this fucking game. So I thought, oh, look at the game manual, and the only good thing about the game manual is that it says that the square button is the edging button. I was just like, well, you sure are fucking edging me that there might be a good game in here somewhere, and you're definitely not paying it off.
Right.
Yeah. But let's get into it. Like, first off, I said there was 5 amazing tracks, but you start out with 3 of them, and you have to unlock 2 of them, and it's just, I don't know, like, it's not fun to do because first off, the tracks are just beginner, medium, or intermediate, and expert. So the tracks are a little bit harder, but they're so boring.
Oh,
Yeah.
And you start at the top of the hill and you're doing a slalom down, you're doing a time or a speed run down the hill basically. And you have to turn around corners and you have to, like Alan said, hit the square button to do the edge turn so you turn a lot quicker. But the controls are just brutally awful. What did you guys think of the controls?
They're shit. It's, I mean, like, it said like hold down X and then release it to jump, and it's like, for some reason, something so simple you had to like time perfectly, because I would be coming up, like, the stupid announcer would be like, whoa, there's a ramp coming up, catch some air. And then it's like, okay, so then I would hold down
God, the
X and I would
announcer.
release it, and then he would just like dribble off the jump or whatever it was. Like, he wouldn't jump at all. It would just be like, bam.
the fucking timing of that is shocking.
Oh, I know, it's
Shocking.
ridiculous for something
Yeah.
so simple.
It's just
Yeah, and it's just, there's nothing you can do in the game that makes you feel like you're a world-class snowboarder.
No.
It's just you're going down the hill, you're bouncing off the walls of these narrow canyons on a hill. What fucking hill has cliff walls on either side of it? Like, this is the worst ski hill in the world.
Right.
who decided? And do you know what you said? You said there was nothing in this game that makes you feel like you're a capable snowboarder. There was nothing in this game that made me feel like I'd ever played a fucking video game before in my life. I mean, Jesus Christ, control-wise, I'd have had an easier time if I'd have played this with a different fucking console's controller, like in a separate room with my feet while blindfolded. It would have been the same exact result.
The controls are so bad in this game that even when you're in the menu, you press X to confirm, and you think circle would be the one you press to cancel, but no, it's triangle.
Yeah, some
Oh,
games had
right.
triangle
So bad
for
the
back.
controls are. Yeah, you don't even default to the old circle to cancel. Nah, like every other
No.
game, let's use triangle.
Did you-
God, that's a
Did either of you actually unlock any of the additional 2 courses, or
no.
Fuck no.
I ran through the 3 available levels as much as I humanly could take. I tried doing tricks whenever you had to jump, whenever I managed to jump, or I tried to make it down the hill at a fast speed using the edging technique with the square button, but no, I spent most of my time just bouncing off
Right.
walls and falling down with the guy going, "You gotta get better."
Right.
Yeah, well, so have you, for fuck's sake. Like, no,
Yeah.
I mean, I heard that there were extra courses. I was just like, well, why the fuck would I want to put myself through this 2 more times? She's like, oh yeah, I'm having so much fun now. I can't wait to do this again.
well, the problem is
Yeah.
they don't really give you a benchmark for like what you actually need to do. It's a complete mystery. Like, you go down the course, and let's say you finish it, right? And you do like you manage to do a couple of tricks. Like, if I had a good run, it means I actually crossed the finish line at some point and maybe did like a 180 or something like that. And
Ooh.
it would just be like, good job, you finished. Now try harder next time, or whatever. And like, it just
Yeah.
like boots you back to the menu to like try again or whatever. And it's just like, well, what is the goal that I'm supposed to hit besides like finishing it? I know there's a combination of time and tricks that you're supposed to hit, but it didn't tell you what it was. Ugh.
Yeah.
Time and tricks. And as well, like, 3 courses, I never found myself once like struggling to get to the end. And I think that's just basically because they're very generous with the amount of time, and you could literally just put the controller down and let gravity do the work for you,
yeah.
and it would be the exact same experience, because the way I was ricocheting off of walls, you would have thought I was playing fucking pinball instead. But it's just I had no struggles getting to the end of the course, and I was just like, huh, okay, so like that's it, I guess. I'll try another
Well,
course.
I thought that once you beat that course, you would move on to like a second mountain where they'd have the same thing, 3 courses again. I thought there would actually be a variety of levels you could play, and you kind of built up and you could get skills and stuff like that, but none of that's available in this game. You pick from your short amount of uh, snowboarders, and you pick your snowboard, which has the only thing that has different stats,
Hmm.
and you go down the same 3 hills over and over, and nothing changes. The only thing you have is ghost data, which you can race your ghost from the last time, and it it loses its how this thing got a PlayStation Greatest Hits version like baffles
Yeah,
me.
I just
Just
maybe
completely dumbfounded.
it's like at the time. So if this came out in '96, they're really. I did read a little bit on it because I was like, why is this so popular? Like, I mean, everyone knows the name Cool Borders, right? I think the name precedes the game. Like, if you hear
It
the
did for
name
me.
Cool, yeah, me too. Like, if I hear the name Cool Borders, like Cool Borders and 1080 were like the snowboarding games before Tony
Yeah.
Hawk, and then I think there was like a Shaun White version of snowboarding, whatever. Like, and I'll say this too: snowboarding and surfing are tough because you're not on land and you don't have like just kind of like free range to move around. You are kind of restricted by gravity or like a wave moving towards the shore. So like yeah, there are snowboarding and surfing games, but it's a little tougher. You are a little bit more restricted in what you can do. So yeah, there's like a downhill timing, and then there's, trick attack or whatever, like maybe there can be a half pipe or something like that that you have some limited time on. So it's not like you can do a whole hell of a lot, but man, like this must have been the first this was the first one pretty much, and before extreme sports games were popular. So I guess this, like, on name alone and just the fact that it was kind of the only one out there, this was relatively successful. And so, like, yeah, when we hear the name Cool Borders and we saw it on PS Plus, we're like, yeah, that's a good game, right? We should talk about
Yeah,
that one.
it's got to be the Tony Hawk of snowboarding, surely.
Oh
When it,
God.
Yeah.
when much more likely the case, it's just like this was the only fucking snowboarding game that was around, so fucking deal with it.
Right.
And I agree. There are certain games, like your Tony Hawks, like your Dave Mirra and what have you, where
Dave Mirra was good.
there are a fuck of a lot more things that you can do on a skateboard or a snowboard, but or a BMX. But it's just like I can't do fucking anything on this game.
Yeah.
I can barely
No,
steer.
There's a half pipe down, like partway down one of the mountains there, and I thought that was the moment that you're going to be like going side to side. You're going to be doing tricks and flipping, and then I kind of looked up how to do the tricks, and you just press R2 to grab your board
That's it.
and mash the buttons and to do nothing basically. I'm looking up and in the actual manual, and I don't see any tricks.
No, it's
No.
Oh no, sorry. There's 5. R1 plus up, R1 plus down, R1 plus up twice, R1 plus down twice, or just R1, and they're your 5 available tricks.
well, I mean,
And
also there aren't a whole lot of tricks to do on a snowboard anyways. I mean, there's grinding and there's grabs. Like those are pretty much what you can do. Because you can't flip it. Like there's no, like, you can't do a kickflip on a snowboard.
You have not.
You can flip a
Well,
snowboarder.
no, but you can do actual flips.
Well, flip flips, yeah.
Like, have you
Oh
seen
yeah.
snowboarders nowadays?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, like you can't. Well, I mean, like in this game, yeah, you're not flipping. I guess it's not like a full.
Oh, there's rail riding. Just
Yeah.
because you can't like kickflip a snowboard doesn't mean there's not enough tricks beyond the 5
Yeah, I
they
guess.
give you here,
I stand
plus
corrected.
the ability to rotate your
It's-
board.
I don't know why I
Well-
was about to defend this game for not having very many tricks in it.
Yeah, and
The thing is-
2001 was the height of the X Games as well, so snowboarding should have been like in everybody's vocabulary, and there's no reason why they couldn't have done a little research and add a little bit of excitement to the game.
Sure. I mean, I can understand that backflips and front flips and shit like that may be a bit tricky to program on something like a PS1. Maybe. And grinds, okay, would have been cool, but I can understand why they're not in there. I would have settled for the ability to actually rotate the fucking
Oh, I
board
know.
easily. Not like, and this game tells you can do 180s, you can do 360s, but fucked if I could figure out how to do it.
The most I did was I think I did pull off a 360. But here's the thing. It says that you can hold square to rotate faster, so I did, and you don't rotate any faster.
No,
No.
no.
Also, the midair turns are pressing up and down, not side to side.
Are you kidding me?
Maybe I fucked it up.
According to the game manual, I'm looking at the view, and the arrow goes to the up and down buttons on the D-pad.
Maybe that's why I was going
would
so
that be a
slow.
thing? Why would that be a thing, though? If you want to do a no, fuck that. If you want to do a rotation, why are you not pressing left or right? Why are you pressing up? No, come on, that's fucking bullshit.
I don't know. I would try again, but I deleted the file off my PlayStation as soon as I
Yeah.
was done with it.
Oh,
Spoiler alert for the end of the episode, but I am never, ever, ever playing this game again.
are you kidding me?
Ever.
I am genuinely pissed because I bought a copy of this on PlayStation 1. Like, I have a copy of this game, physical. And here's the funny thing. I have played many games on my PlayStation 1 this year alone. We did some Castlevania. There's probably been other things I can't think of right now. I put this game in, and my PlayStation 1 decided that it was no longer going to send a signal to the television. I think
It was smart.
the console, I'm pretty sure, still works, but the screen just kept cutting out. And I was just like, well, okay, it's an old PS1, perhaps it needs replacing, fair enough. And I thought, well, a lot of these games do work in the PS2, so I thought, I'll go ahead and put it in the PS2, boot that up and give that a try. PS2 wanted no fucking part of playing this game. So I was already fucking livid before I even started this game, and I upped my PlayStation Plus account
Oh god.
to whatever premium.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, I made the effort. I paid. Not only did I pay to buy this game, I paid PS Premium. I upped my subscription just so I could have a chance of playing this game and have something to say on the episode. It's just like, this game now owes me money.
Yeah.
And
Oh my god.
oh boy.
I'm going to pirate this game just so I can delete it.
You you put it in your PlayStation, and your PlayStation just offed itself rather than actually play it.
It literally killed itself rather than play fucking Cool Borders.
Oh,
I
cool
mean,
borders.
I should have taken the hint there and then. And I was thinking, well, okay, I've got it working on PS5, so maybe I'll sit down and play it, and this game will be good. It'll be like a Tony Hawk snowboarding game, fucking awesome. How bad could that be?
Wow.
All right. Let's try to change the tone here and shit on something else. How about the graphics?
Good
the
God.
early PlayStation 1. I mean, I'm going to be a little bit more forgiving on this simply because, the character models are indicative of the time with what 3D was at the time. Like 1996, the Super Nintendo and the Mega Sys and all that were still popular. So I'm going to be forgiving on the graphics. I am not going to be forgiving on the level design. The level design is atrocious.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, first of all, like, I think even for 3D modeling at the time, I think they still looked bad, because I think like the arm movements and stuff, like the graphics were like, the arm movement was like clipping within, like, there was so much flicker and just clipping within the actual character model itself. It was not smooth at all. Like, I understand that it shouldn't be perfect, but this looks awful. It looks bad.
Man, I am willing to. I'm willing to forgive
terrible
so
looking.
much with graphics. Like, I think Resident Evil 1 on the PlayStation is a good-looking game.
It is.
And I mean, yes, I think it is, but I could see how somebody would take a look at it and think it just looks like fucking arse. But this game was just ugly. Just the characters, and there's not all that much character customization or selection or anything. I can look past that. You know, it's just man or woman and change the clothes and everything, but it's just like it just looks like shit. I mean, if I can say
Yeah, but
one good
it's bad.
thing about the visuals, it's just
No.
that the backgrounds looked all right. You know, at
Mhm.
least they made some effort
Okay,
there.
yeah, well the backgrounds are just pictures that are placed there, but
Right.
the levels themselves, when you're speeding down the hill and you got these textures that are supposed to be the cliff walls or the snow or a giant pile of ice and trees and stuff like that, it's just so boring to
I
look
know.
at. It's like I
Mhm.
know the whole point is not to look at them, but it's nothing. It's like this gray industrial looking garbage area, and it's just this like is this like a resort? Is this where you go to relax with your family and see these beautiful scenery and these beautiful hills, or is it a place where they throw the snow from the highway?
Yeah.
Because that's what it looks
Slush.
like.
I
Yeah.
did find out that it was all picture, like just basic. I don't know what you would call that when it's like pre-rendered, but then like a picture. So like when you're seeing the sky, you're not really seeing the sky. You are in a graphical tunnel basically when you're going down these.
Yeah,
So I got this like really good air over this kind of like narrow pass. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take the opportunity to do some, at least get like a 180 out of this because I rotate so slow. And then I hit the sky, and then I just like hear that stupid sound of like where you like hit the wall, and it's like I'm in the middle of the air and I hit the wall and just fall all the way down. And then you get the guy going,
You
"Oh
kidding
no!" Yeah.
me? I can't say I ever made a jump that successfully to find out that the hang time in the air is broken as well.
Yeah,
Sometimes-
What a crock.
sometimes like it feels like the game physics would fuck up and just like throw me into the air. I was like, oh, I'm in the air now, but it's like, you're probably headed in a direction you don't want to be because you're gonna run into something.
Oh, you want to talk about game physics? I mean, did anyone have the problem? Did anyone have a problem when they crashed into something and then started sliding up the fucking hill?
Yeah, slowly.
yes, a couple of times. Yeah, it's just like, what the
Here-
fuck is up with
Here's
that?
another part where the manual lies to you is it says to like get your acceleration going again. If you get stalled out, you just start to tap X, which makes sense because if you are stalled out on a snowboard, you just kind of do little bunny hops and kind of get yourself moving. That's kind of common sense, right? Well,
Right.
it doesn't really work.
Oh,
You just-
doesn't it? Something doesn't work.
You just jump, you kind of just launch yourself in a direction you don't want to go and end up smacking into something else. Also, Brian, to go back to level design, who puts a bunch of fucking trees in the middle of a narrow tunnel on a snowboard course? Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you look at the speed is like 150 kilometers per hour. It's like, okay, that's a good way to kill yourself.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, as soon as you touch a wall or an obstacle or anything like that and you start bouncing, there's no
There's
recovery.
no way.
No.
You are now bouncing off of walls because you can't turn if you're going slow. Like, if you use the square to turn quicker, it'll just put you right back into a wall. If you don't use it, it'll put you in the wall on the other side because you won't turn quick enough. Like, there's no happy
Yeah.
medium in this game. You're either fucked or you're doing okay.
And the
No,
cuts
I
on
mean-
the cuts on the square turn, like sometimes you'd kind of overcompensate and then end up flipping yourself the other
Yeah.
way. And then if you were sideways, you just end up falling again.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would find that you could use that edging button to get around those corners, but you slowed yourself down so fucking much that it was just, you know what? I'm actually making better time just ricocheting off the walls, so I might as well
Right.
just do
Yeah.
that. You know, because
But
I'm
even
not
then,
not
you're going to
slowing
get to
a
the end.
stall.
He's going to be like, try better next time.
Because I think
well,
you are
no.
penalized for hitting, like every time you crash, there's like a little crash meter where like you get it looked like a ladybug, right? Those little things in the corner of the bottom left corner.
Yeah.
And they would accumulate,
Yeah.
and once you got a certain amount, then you got a big one, and then it was like a way of like counting tens. So like if you got a bunch of those, I think it just took it off your score. So it's like, yeah, you made it
Like
in
I
time
care.
and you did a couple tricks, but you got like 800 ladybugs.
Yeah. First game, you go into debt trying to get a high score.
Right.
Oh, I feel like this game's put me in debt emotionally.
Ugh.
It we've been saying for a while we wanted to play a bad game, but we've been really pushing some really good games. Like last week we did BioShock and we
Oh.
had a wonderful time, most of us, I should say.
I'm going from a
And-
10 out of 10 to something
it was
very
fine.
not.
It was
But-
fine.
but,
I enjoyed my time with BioShock more than I enjoyed my time with Cool Borders.
Oh yeah, but when we picked this game, we didn't think we were picking a bad game. We thought the first bad game would be coming up in the near future here. And we all played this, and I thought I was going to be the only one who hated it at first, and then just started talking to you guys, and it was like, yeah, okay, so I'm validated now. Everything I friggin' hate about this game, it's what everybody hates about this game. Then I started looking online, and it just became bigger and bigger. I don't know how this game got like a score of 74, like an aggregate score of 74 according to Wikipedia.
God knows.
It's God, even for 1996 standards, you could have done a 2D. You know what? Screw it. You had that Ski Free game on DOS that was better than this.
100 times.
Yeah.
100 times over. Yeah. Oh, that is a fucking pull. That is taking me right back to my school days.
You know what?
Oh,
Wow.
You know what this game reminds me of is Skate or Die. That's another one where it's like, I think people just remember it based on the name, and then the fact that it was like the
I
only.
liked Skate or Die.
I know, but it's
I've
like
not
it's
played
not a
it.
good game though.
But I got really good at Skate or Die because it made sense.
Well, here's the
I
thing.
can't-
This doesn't make sense.
I don't
I
know.
can't
like-
ever see myself getting good at this game. And Brian, like,
I don't know.
isn't it nice that we're all angry and on the same page?
Yes, but I have to validate what Sam said. He is right. Skate or Die is a terrible
Yeah,
game.
I think
I should play that.
I think it is just
But I
one of
liked
those
it.
things
I'm
though,
just
where like
saying.
people will remember this fondly because it was the only one of its time at the time, and everyone played it. So it's like, oh, yeah, cool Borders. Yeah, I mean that was a good game, right?
Yeah,
I mean
exactly.
it's like the Mandela effect. Like everyone thinks this is
Yeah.
remembers this fondly because it was just the time. Like those were good times. We had these early extreme sports games, and they were pretty fun. It's like, no, I think we're remembering this one wrong. This one sucks.
Oh, exactly. But going back to Alan's point, yeah, all of us hating this game at the same time is, I guess, just like a breath of fresh air that we're on the same page on this one, because I really wouldn't want to have to like fight two people who love this game and try to, listen to them justify it to me, like why it was a good game.
Brian,
Right.
if I can find two people who like this game, I will send them your way. But I think you'll be waiting
I
a
just-
while.
I'm just impressed that we finally found a game that Alan has something not a nice thing to say about. Like usually it's like, yeah. Well, it was, the time, and Alan can usually find something positive like in just about anything, but this one was nope.
Well, thank you, Sam. I appreciate that dive into my character, and I do genuinely like. I mean, there are very few games that I can count that I've genuinely hated. Like, I mean, Alone in the Dark on the Xbox 360. I guess I can't remember what it was called, but not A New Nightmare. That game was fucking awesome. Can't think what it was called, but the one on the Xbox 360 I hated so much that I completed it and platinumed it out of spite, so I never had to
Yeah,
play that game again.
I remember when you started like doing regular talks with us on the show, there was a game you're like, I really don't like this game, and they're like, okay, well, just don't play it. And he's like, I can't do that. And then you ended up finishing the game that you didn't like, and then by the time we recorded, you had really good things to say about it. And it's just like, okay, this guy is never not going to finish a game. This is the first time I think
Yeah.
we've had something to play that you haven't finished.
Oh, I dispute that, Brian. I dispute that immensely, because there are 3 courses on this game, and I completed all 3 courses. So
You know what? I'm going to give that one to you, but you didn't complete all 5.
well, bonus unlockables. Do I have to really? Please?
Yes.
No.
I don't even
I mean, I'm
understand
not
how
gonna-
you do. Like what are
No.
the criteria to unlock the courses? Like what is they never give
Well,
you
you-
the benchmark or like the time you're supposed to hit, or the
Yeah.
points you're supposed to score.
But they advertise 5 courses.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they sure do.
Well, if they want me to play 2 more courses, they're going to have to pay me. That's the only way it's going to happen. No, I mean, I'm not going to count this on the completed games list. Which, sidebar, I've actually beaten the score from last year. And have just remembered...
Well, this one can go in honorable mentions.
It
yeah,
could.
well,
I mean,
dishonorable mentions.
I mean, you did sit through, or like manage to complete all 3 courses. I think it counts.
Well, I mean, I've just remembered that I should probably be doing that ranking list of them all, if that's something that people still want to listen to.
Hey, guess what's
Um,
last?
yeah. Surprise, surprise. Oh, I don't know. I mean, this game just fucking sucks.
Yeah, like I've been trying to wax poetic just to keep this podcast up to a certain amount of time, and I'm literally done.
Yeah,
the music
there's
sucks.
not,
That's
yeah,
it.
the music isn't
It's
great
rock
either.
and roll,
Yeah.
but it's generic.
It is very, and do you know what confused the fuck out of me is okay, so you fire up this game, and then you pick your character, by which I mean you pick either a male or a female. You then get to put the shitty fucking clothes on them, which who cares?
Just
And
different
then you
shades
get
of brown and dark blue.
exactly. And then you get to choose your snowboard. And I was thinking, okay, well, I'll pick this one because it's pretty much uniform across the whole thing. And I can't imagine that the different stats on the snowboard make a fucking bit of difference when you're bouncing off the walls down these courses. And then I was hit by this massive list out of nowhere. And I was just like, well, what is this? What am I choosing here? It's just like random and then a bunch of just fucking names. And I was just like, I have no idea what this is. As it turned out, you can pick the music for the course.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I get what you're saying here. I'm just like, there was quite a few different tracks on here, and like you say, they are fairly generic. But you know, CD quality with the PlayStation, so they're not terrible. I'm
It's
just
probably
wondering
the best part of the
why-
game.
Well, this is exactly what I was going to say, because I'm thinking, why did they spend clearly so much more time on the music than they did on the rest of the game? Like, I don't care. It's just I don't care what I mean.
Because
This isn't licensed
they have
music.
to make it sound like a snowboarding game. They have to have that. Well, that's the other thing. Like, we're talking the X Games. I don't think of like hard rock for X Game type music. I think of more the grunge and the what's that called? Like the Blink 182 esque type rock and roll
Like
music.
pop punk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like pop punk,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Thank you.
But this was
I couldn't think of
before.
the genre for
This
off-
was kind of before that kind of music was even popular. Like, you know, it was starting to come up, but it wasn't like. I don't know. It's just kind of.
You think
Just
sort of
kinda generic.
snowboarding and extreme sports, you just kind of think of, well, if it was on a warped tour, then it's
Right.
probably fitting for like an extreme sports game, right? But
yeah.
I mean, the music was. It's certainly nothing that got stuck in my head. It was, like you say, generic and very forgettable. But I mean, the audio quality of the music was fine.
It's CD quality, which is what the PlayStation boasts.
Well, exactly, and that's that. Look, I found something nice to say.
Yeah, we did.
I guess
We all
so.
did.
I guess.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know. I was looking at the tracks for this to build up the episode, and I just couldn't find any that really fit the mood I was in. Looking up the music, I need something angry or something that just makes me angry, and then it'll fit my mood.
Ugh,
yeah,
just-
I mean, you think about the music from Tony Hawk's. Again, I know it's not fair to compare this with Tony Hawk. 'cause,
Yeah, probably
that's
not.
kind of
No,
the gold standard. But when you're playing one of those games and you've got a bit of Bad Religion or something going on, and you're just like, yeah, let's fucking go. But it's just, this is fairly forgettable and generic music to listen to while you're literally smashing your head against either wall of this course
And-
going down.
it's kind of amazing because this is actually built by Sony Studios, and look what Sony has turned into in their first party games.
Oh,
And this is kind of the snapshot of them starting out before they, absorbed all those small studios and turned them into the behemoth they are these days. It just, without getting a lot of those third-party studios away from Nintendo and Nintendo 64, I don't think the PlayStation would have survived off of their first-party games.
no. I can't speak to the history of Sony and PlayStation and all the rest of it, but it's just like, this is not a great showing.
This one's not.
right at the gate.
You guys are gonna shit your pants. I am watching someone do a downhill run on, excuse me, the first course, and first of all, it kind of seems like it's best to split your runs, like not try to do time and tricks in the same run, but
Makes
they're doing
sense.
these like fucking backflip twist, like all kinds of tricks. Like I don't understand how
You got to be
the
kidding me. Are
buttons
you
didn't
sure
fuck.
that's...
I, I'm not kidding. They were.
Are you watching Cool Borders or Cool Borders
It
2001?
is.
Apparently,
That's...
there's two
No,
different
this is
versions
definitely
of
Cool
this.
Borders. It looks like shit. Uh, but no, like he pulled off a couple of tricks that were like these like backflip twist 540s, like tail grabs, and they're getting like 900 points. What the fuck? How
Well,
are you supposed to do that? Like, what kind of weird configuration? You have to be like, do I have to be sitting upside down and like drinking a glass of water while I'm doing this to make it work, or what the
with
fuck?
the controller up your ass.
Right, like
Now, this is probably somebody who programmed the computer to do the game for them, and that's the only way he's able to get any
I have
points.
no idea.
What?
how-
Mind you,
The absolute
People online are
And the comments are so positive
peop-
too, like, "Oh, I love this game. This is such a great game." It's like, "What are you? Try it again." I don't think it is.
You know what? Maybe at the time this was a
I think
great
it
game.
was.
Maybe at the time this had a big cult following,
Yes.
but it's 2025. This game has been out for almost 30 some odd years. No, not just under 30 years. And it does not hold
No.
up, especially if you look at the landscape of snowboarding games since. So this is just one of those ones you can skip in the collection. Kind of like how I felt about Budokai. You can skip
Mhm.
this one, go on to the next one, and maybe you'll have a better time.
Yeah,
saying
like
that, dudes. Like, I am watching this run that Sam's talking about here, and I'm
isn't
just
that
like,
fucking nuts,
guys,
dude?
did we just suck at this game?
We might have,
Yes.
but also like you have to be some sort of like, I don't know. It's just like, I have no words. I don't know how.
I genuinely did not know that the game could be played like this.
Right? It's like
Maybe-
this looks fun, and it's like then
This-
then you play it, and it's like you're just banging into walls, and like look at this guy do this fucking 540 and get 600 points off of a trick. No wonder why I would do a 360 tail grab. You'd be like, you could do better. Like, yeah, I guess maybe I could.
Yeah. But this is probably somebody who's played the game religiously for the last 30 years.
Right. I think
or
you
however
really have
long when the
to.
video was released.
You have
I
to
don't
like
wanna play
really
it that
learn how.
much.
It's kind of like when we played what's the racing game we just did, Ridge Racer. Like if you
Also a Sony first party game.
right, like if
Well, no, we did the N64.
we did
one,
the
never mind.
64 one, but like that was another game where like I think it was just kind of I don't want to forgive the controls. Like I happened to figure them out, but I don't think they were good. It just is. It's weird. I don't know.
That's the infancy of 3D for you. You guys ready to wrap this up so we can all kind of have 30 minutes to just shit on this game solo style?
Yeah,
I know it's not
'cause
going to take 30 minutes.
If I'm watching,
But you know what? I'm going
if I'm watching this thing for any longer, I'm going to feel even worse than I already do.
to. Well, Alan, why don't you turn it off and give us your final wrap up with a healthy score?
I will do that. I did not enjoy this game at all. I'm not sure if that came across on the episode or not, so I'd like to make it clear and apparent now. Maybe this is a game that people enjoyed. I don't know. You know, there are long plays on YouTube, as I've just discovered, where people can actually play this game, but that was not my experience with it. You know, I could not wrap my head around the controls. It just seemed borderline broken and just not very intuitive. And, you know, maybe if this was something that you did get right out of the gate and play religiously for however long, 30 odd years or whatever it is, you know, it looks like shit. It plays like shit. I'm not the biggest fan of snowboarding to begin with. You know, it's cool, but it's not something I've ever had an active interest in. I mean, I used to skateboard very, very badly. So, you know, I was interested in Tony Hawk and stuff like that. But the music is generic and forgettable. 3 courses. Do you know what it is? Do you know what this game is when it's all said and done? This is a glorified demo. Like three courses. Okay, you can unlock extra courses. I'm not going to do that because I have a finite amount of time on this earth, and I'm not going to waste it playing fucking cool borders. But it just feels like it feels for all the world like a demo. Should have been just on a demo disc. And it may or may not have killed my PlayStation 1. So fucking thanks. Whoever made this, you owe me money. And fuck, I don't know. 1.5 maybe.
Wow.
I don't know.
Oof.
Just I was angry then. I'm angry now. Come at me, all you Cool Borders fans. You know, all three of you. I think I can take three of you on.
How many Cool Borders fans can you take before you get tired? That's a real question. 1.5 out of 10 by Alan. Sam, take it away.
Oh man, I'm still watching these, like, just baffled that someone is actually playing this in a manner that looks competent. And they're going down the hill so fast that they've done the thing that we did in Ridge Racer, where you extend your time so much that it's just 99 for a bit. I will say, now that they're doing the intermediate course and not just the beginner course, there are some very, very apparent flaws in the structure of this game. There is a turn that is so sharp that you need to run into a wall in order to redirect yourself down the hill in the right direction. So that is poor level design. This is the game that, like, you had this game and it was the only one of its type available. So yeah, I think people are remember this fondly because that's just kind of what you had, and you probably played the shit out of it. Those three courses, you probably went up and down those three courses and played over and over again until you could figure out how to finagle a way to work, because the instruction manual certainly lied. Just straight lied. Like, you have to the contortions that you have to do to try to, like, probably get that 540 tail grab twist, whatever the fuck, that actually got a decent amount of points. Like, I don't even understand how that would be possible based on the control scheme as it was explained to me. It looks bad nowadays. I'm sure then it looked fine, but this is the thing where, like, we mentioned Resident Evil, like, yeah, that doesn't look good now. Okay, yeah, it doesn't, but compared to other games at the time, and you can look at that and say, for its time, it looks really good. This one is just grayscale. Like, I'm looking at the mountains, like Brian said, like, you couldn't make this any more colorful at all. Like, I understand that winter weather is usually gray and white and whatever, but, like, you couldn't, like, have the sky be blue or anything else. Just it looks crappy, it plays crappy. Like we said, the sound, like, the music is probably the best aspect of the game, which is never really what you want. I don't know. Yeah, like, you nailed it, Alan, when you said it's a demo. This might have been on one of the jam-packed discs that I had. I don't know. Like, I feel like every game was on that jam-packed disc, so I might be misremembering, but it feels like one of those things where it's like you just played one of these courses over and over again because it was on a free disc that you got from, like, Pizza Hut or whatever, and that's just kind of what you played. But, like, the mark of a true good game, like a Tony Hawk, we still talk about Tony Hawk because that was a good game, and, like, yeah, Tony Hawk 1 doesn't hold up to Tony Hawk 2 or 3 or 4 or Thug or American Wasteland or whatever your favorite Tony Hawk game is. Like, they got better, obviously, and probably so did Cool Borders, but the first one just does not hold up, and I just don't understand why. Like, this one is like a mainstay on PS Plus for some reason. Like, they really, I don't know, they just hang their hat on this one. Like, it's gotten so many re-releases. It's bad. I just didn't like it. I didn't enjoy my time playing it. When the game started to kind of feel like maybe it was going to get fun, it just immediately stopped being fun. Like, oh, I'm starting to go a little bit faster. Maybe I can get a jump or something. And it's like, nope, you're going to hit a wall. So, I'm going to give it a good one. I'll stick with, yeah, Alan, that was a fair score. 1.5.
Yeah, there you go. 1.5, 1.5 for a 3 out of 20.
This was less fun than Animaniacs.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that game sucks.
That's a shot.
That game sucks.
Like, I don't know how to follow Sam with anything to add to this, but yeah, both of you are right. It's a demo. 3 courses on a game does not make a game. You want mountains with multiple courses each.
Right.
That's what makes a game. Um, my problem with this game is it's just so boring. Like, you go down the hill, even if you manage to have a good run, it is still just so plain. You're just going down a hill. You're not doing anything. If you manage to pull off a trick and get any sorts of points, I mean, it's usually a one-off, but I just... Playing video games is supposed to be like a release. It's supposed to be fun. Take you away from your real-world problems for a few hours while you sit there and enjoy something that you like, in this case being snowboarding, but... Truth be told, you can't even do that because there's nothing interesting in it at all. That has a lot to do with the controls. You don't even feel like you're snowboarding. You feel like you're trying to survive. Like, doing the tricks is damn near impossible. You can barely turn. Like Sam said, you sometimes just have to bounce off the wall just to keep going because that's the easiest way to do it. And that's the other thing, is the level design. You're going down a tunnel. You're not going down a hill. You don't feel like you're on a hill. There's cliffs. Yeah, that's great. But it still doesn't feel like you're in a ski hill. You're in just like a chute. You're in a tunnel. You're in a confined space. It doesn't feel vast and open like it does when you go skiing. Alan said the high point was the music, but that's not really a high point because it's very, very forgettable. And I still can't picture a song in my mind. Like, there's just nothing about it. Even playing the game, I don't think I heard the music because I was so busy swearing over it. And finally, like I said, this looks like the place where they put the goddamn snow they take off the road in the middle of winter. It's gray. It's disgusting. It's not a winter wonderland. It's just this industrial looking, really blah area. And even the trees are brown. They're not even that green. It's just... They could do better, and especially in this time, around this time, it wasn't that hard to pick a color palette. They're on the PlayStation. They have the 32-bit graphics, available to them, and it looks like they only use 2 or 3 bits of it. I'm going to agree with you guys totally. It is a 1.5 out of 10 game. There is no way this game goes any higher, but I can make a justification to put it even lower if it doesn't watch out. So 1.5 out of 10 for all 3 of us, boys.
And we're in agreement.
It's done with. It's over. We don't have to do this again. I have a feeling we're going to anger a few people off of this one. So
That's fine.
Hey, if that's you, come and find us and let us know. Talk to us in the Discord.
Tell us why Cool Borders is good and why we're wrong.
We'll listen to any argument. If you can justify this game to us, we will sit down and we will let you tell us why we are wrong.
And I am fully...
Alan never lets people tell him he's wrong.
I'm only myself. I tell myself I'm wrong all the time. But listen, I am fully aware that, maybe it's just that we suck. And if that's what you think, then by all means, we will listen to that argument. But at the end of the day, it's our show. And we can say whatever the fuck we want about whatever game we cover. And you know what? The snowboarding in Final Fantasy VII is better and more fun than this fucking game.
I agree.
That's actually an accurate comment. They should have got Square to make the friggin' snowboarding games. They did it at least semi-decently.
Hey,
I only speak the truth.
One thing I want to say first. So I found those long plays of Cool Borders, but I also found there might be a worse Cool Borders game than Cool Borders. Because if you look on YouTube, search the evolution of Cool Borders 96 to 2001, and it has looks like about 8 Cool Borders games. And there is it's called Cool Borders Pocket for the SNK, the Neo Geo Pocket, and it looks rough. It looks worse.
Well,
there you go. We can actually go lower.
Yeah, this one might be lower. This looks like shit.
Okay, boys. Oh, Alan,
I was going to say, there you go, guys. I mean, the Neo Geo fucking Pocket version. If you ever need to torture me to find out the code to the Retrotopia vault, 5 minutes with that, and I'll tell you everything you want to know.
Yep.
And remember, if some of you still have your quick play options left.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
no. We're gonna say it right now.
Aye.
No Cool Borders games are allowed for quick plays.
Oh, I
Well,
don't know,
they can
guys.
only
I
be
don't know.
better, right? So maybe whatever. I don't care.
In theory.
Yeah.
All right, so that does it for another episode of Retrotopia. And unlike this video game, this one went downhill quite quickly.
Hi there, everyone. We here at Retrotopia couldn't do what we do without the support of our Patreons. And to that effect, we would like to shout out our heroes at the hero tier. So a huge Retrotopia thank you from all of the hosts here to Andrew Wright, Wildcard, Unbuckled Cape, Makeshift Money, Sergeant Ombre, Randy Berridge, BCOS19, J Nasty 15, Chris Kaplane, Jack Datchler, Sir Busts-A-Lot, Big Kid 782, Super Dave, Big Brown Dog, Stud Still Smash, Fallen Snow Kiku, Radmac, Calin Hygus, Old Man Gamer, Raging Demon, Radioactive Hooli, Blue Shell Discharge, The Big Deal, Dylan Jacobson, Game Genius, H, Brother Retro, Shane's World, Ovindally, Brian Spritzer. So thanks as always for your support, guys. It truly means the world to us and means we can keep doing this little thing that we love so much. Game on.